Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for joining me yet again for another video on my YouTube channel. Today we're talking about seven things that I hate about my BMW e93 3 Series convertible 2-liter diesel, yeah, all of that. But most importantly, we are talking about owner's experience rather than necessarily visual and what I like and dislike, which you could argue with. These are the things that I, as an owner of this car, didn't particularly like and which bothers me. Thing number one on that list is, of course, the weight of this car. As I have mentioned in my main video, in my main review, this is a very heavy car. 1800 plus kilos. 1830 I believe, but it's a very heavy for something that is a 3 Series mid-range in terms of BMWs, and that is a essentially sporty car. As you can imagine, in the corners you actually feel that weight, especially when the roof is down, because the center of gravity shifts slightly backwards and you can feel that the rear end, and of course being rear-wheel drive, it's gonna have that tendency, but it's even exaggerated when the roof is down. As I was explaining, it's because of the roof mechanism and the reinforcement in the chassis to keep the stiffness, but all of that comes at a price of 160 kilos in comparison to the coupe. Actually, cornering is one thing, but the real disadvantage where you can really feel the weight is under braking and acceleration in the very tight corners, because it really has a stiff suspension, which is great, and that helps it to hide the weight in the corners, in the longer corners. But when you're actually braking hard for a sharp corner and then accelerating out of it, that's where you really feel the weight, and that's something that I don't really enjoy about this car. Thing number two, Bluetooth. Bluetooth connectivity drives me absolutely crazy, and let me show you. Let me show you why. Because when you go into media, you press there and you have Bluetooth connectivity underneath. But if it's not connected, you're not going there. You can click as much as you want, but it's not, the settings for Bluetooth is not there. Yep, we've connected now, but you have to go out back, and you're not now on external devices, but you're actually going to Bluetooth, and then you're finding, and you can have only 4 devices that you are connected with, that it has the memory of, and then you have to delete it, and it's super complex. There we go, I wanted just to delete it now, but it's trying to connect it, and then I click back and it's just gonna go back, and I would connect now with my phone, and instead of sort of entering my device now, it's just gonna say connected, and then once it's connected you go back to external devices and then back into Bluetooth, and then you start playing music. It's just so unnecessarily complicated, and you have way too many steps to do. There we go, it showed up, so you enter and then you play from there. Every single time there is a new connection that has to be made, it's like, remember this number, then you have to connect it, and then you have to type in the pin on your phone, and then I need to type in the pin here. It's like, it's so complex, and it's so unnecessary, and it drives me crazy. Whenever someone wants to connect, I'm like, just deal with it. Just deal with my music. Don't play any other music. It comes to that extent. So really something that I'm not enjoying. So I'm glad that whenever it recognizes my phone, whenever I enter the car, it just connects. And that's great. That works great. But if there is a new device that you want to connect, terrible. Number 3, steering. Steering is particularly heavy on this car. While it's great when you're going for a spirited drive and really gives you confidence, gives you that, gives you like kind of your whatever. It kind of feels great when you're driving fast, but at the same time you're not necessarily getting the input back from the road, and for a daily commute It's like do you see this? Do you see these triceps? Like that's only from this, okay? So I'm joking, but you will never see me like turn the style like I'm washing dishes, because it's almost impossible. You always have to grab it and then turn normally, even though gym, you know, still doesn't help. Number 4, roof. Now, as much as I like this car because it's convertible, hardtop, and it's safe, and it's just fantastic, and I'm loving the top-down experience, something that really bothers me is count the seconds. That's also something that is counterintuitive. When you're pressing down, it's actually putting the roof back. When you're pulling it up, it's dropping the roof down. All right, count the seconds. I'm gonna open the roof now, and let's see how it longs. Bear in mind, the windows are already closed. That takes. Let's actually do a proper test. Imagine this: you're on a traffic light and you wanna open the roof. Windows are down, roof is starting to open. But if by any chance you decide to open the door, it decides to stop and doesn't finish the operation. If by any chance mid-operation you either open the doors, the same goes if you're doing it with your remote control while you're approaching your car. If you open the door while it hasn't finished, it's gonna stop. That's one thing that is annoying. Second thing that is annoying, while you're doing this, as you can see, if you exit the car, it's gonna do the same. Third thing that is super duper annoying, imagine if I was doing that on a traffic light and then suddenly the light goes green, as it would, because it takes ages. I would be left like this now driving along, and it wouldn't go down, it would just stop midway, and that's just insane. I mean, fine, they made it like that. You can get some programs, you can program it if you want, so it doesn't actually stop, and it does it up until some speed, as all modern cars do it. I don't know why, BMW, why didn't you do this on this car? All right, so let's put the roof down, finish with that operation, because just so we don't break the car now. Which is actually bringing me very nicely to point number 5 about this car that I don't like, and that is lights. I know I mentioned that I love lights on this car, but let me show you what I mean. When I lock the car, it's gonna blink. I'm walking away and I'm like, oh, I can't remember what I locked the car, and I'm like, you can hear the lock going click, click, click. But sometimes, obviously, I'm in the middle of nowhere, so I can hear everything. But when you're in the city or something, you can't really hear that lock. It just doesn't blink. It doesn't blink and says, hey, I'm locked, you can go. There's obviously light on the inside, the alarm light that blinks all the time, but sometimes you can't see it, so I'm like, trying to see it in between the seats, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, sometimes when I'm leaving the car, especially me, like I'm always questioning whether I load the car, as every petrol head does. I'm like clicking. I'm gonna use the battery in this like in 3 days. Yeah, that's something that I really don't enjoy. Fix it, BMW, or I'll just program it myself. I mean, surely you can. Number 6. Whoa. Number 6, as I was saying, something super weird that I really don't understand why someone would put in the car, and that is this scroll here. I really don't understand what is the point of this scroll. You want cold, you want hot, you want cold, you want warm. What's the point of this one if you have the temperature adjustment here? You have the temperature that you're adjusting for each side of the car, and then you have, oh, but I want only cold, oh, but I only want cold. Didn't I set this here, whether I want cold, whether I want cold or warm? I really don't understand why is it. That's why I put it always in the middle, which is in the middle here, by the way, of this button, and it's the same on the rear. It's the same on the rear. And obviously when this is set up to cold, if you set this to warm, it's just not gonna blow anything, because it's gonna be like, oh well, there is not warm air because you set it to cold here. Well, no shit, Sherlock. And if you set it to warm and you set this to cold, it's gonna be like, well, there is no cold air. Clearly, there is no cold air if I set the temperature to warm, or vice versa. So it just drives me crazy. Sorry for this rant, but it's just something that completely doesn't make sense. Number 7 is, you guessed it, sound. It's diesel, I know, but let me just wait for a second. Like, this is a 2012 model, and it just sounds like a tractor. I mean, in all honesty, if you compare it to the same year of Audi A5, because Audi A5 got their new model earlier, because we have a 4 Series coming out in 2013, this is 2012 model. So if you compare it to Audi A5, it's not kind of fair because they already got their new model out. And I understand that this engine is running from 2006, but it just doesn't sound great. And if you notice, like, yeah, close that. So I don't know if you can hear me, because that's probably sounding like tractor. It sort of ruins the open experience. I was the other day with my family and my mom was filming. She was like, oh, this is amazing nature. And while you're in the car, you necessarily just cancel that noise out. But actually she was filming, and just when you rewatch the video, it just, all you can hear is like, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I gave you 7 negative things and 7 positive things. Now you decide, and let me know in the comment section below what you think about this. Thank you very much for watching once again. Make sure you tune in for the next videos. Make sure you smash that like button. and with that being said, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like this video if you did enjoy it. Make sure you comment below if you agree with something, if you disagree with it. Just let me know your opinion, and make sure, of course, you subscribe. Thank you very much once again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.